This movie begins by showing a beautiful family unit. A man on his porch bonding with his son as he gives him a haircut. His lady comes up to him to remind him to get ready because their friends were on the way. He wraps up the haircut with his son. They recite a few motivating words, then hit the road with their friends. As they peel the layers of the film, you start to see a different side to not so regular family unit. They drive up to the lake in some remote location where they use a junk pickup truck and a few empty beer bottles placed on top as target practice. It's giving proper redneck vibes. The team leader gives the order, and the mischievous bunch opens fire on the bottles with their shotguns, rifles, and sidearms. No doubt he brings his son along to his child-appropriate activities. Lil Mischief is off to the side, playing with a snake who only wants nothing but to get back in the water. His mom yelled out for him to put the snake down, which he does before running into his dad's arms. Big Mischief bets $50 on him to hit one shot with his rifle. His mom's concerns fall on deaf ears, and with unwavering confidence, the boy picks up the rifle and gets in the prone position with his dad. With the magazine already loaded, the boy looks at the juicy target through his rear sights, pulls the charging handle to the rear, inhales, exhales, and with 2 fingers he slowly pulls the trigger, causing the watermelon to explode. Little Mischief, aka had clearly had some practice with Big Mischief. They make a pit stop at the grocery store to do some shopping afterwards. And there I noticed a tattoo that I had missed the entire film. Looks familiar. While checking out, Troy sees a man a few aisles away holding a toy. They lock eyes, and as most decent adults would, he starts making funny gestures with the toy. Troy finds it funny and begins to laugh continuously. Big Mischief, aka Jeff, turns around and sees his son laughing with a black man, and this really riles him up. He escalates the dispute by wrongfully accusing the man of messing with his son, and out of nowhere calls him the N-word. Irritation quickly turns into anger as they exchange a few words as the man exits the store. The black man attempts to de-escalate the situation by walking away, but Jeff is highly unsatisfied. He calls his buddies still in the van outside and tell them that some ugly 1980s racial slur tried to pick a fight with him and his son to add fuel to the fire. As the black man walks back to his car, Jeff walks up behind him and knocks him to the ground. His wife and son helplessly watch from the car and screams in fear, but that doesn't stop the mischievous gang from stomping the black man further.
Hysteria stops us from describing the location or even events that are taking place. And listen, I feel for her, but please get it together. This man needs help.
With one final blow to the head, Jeff and his band of mischief runs back to their car and take off, leaving the black family devastated. Being the arrogant narcissist that he is, Jeff goes back home and continues life like nothing ever happened. They eat breakfast and finish out the day with some heavy-duty surfing in true redneck fashion. On the drive back, Jeff sees a van blocking the road, and understandably so, he gets upset, beeps the horn a couple of times, yells out the window, and then hops out the car to check out the situation. My suspicions happen to be true. 2 black men jumped out the van and grabs Jeff, throwing him into the back of the van before driving away. Unfortunately, Troy had to watch his hero get kidnapped through the windshield, just like the son of the family they had the encounter with previously. As they drive away, Troy chases down the van as the camera pans to a face on that passenger manifest that I wasn't expecting to see. Threw me all the way off. For simplicity, we're going to call this group the Big Payback. They pull into a driveway where they had a fully prepped torture parlor set up in the garage. Payback squad gather around Jeff to prepare him for his torture journey. One pulls his shoes off, one cuts off his clothes, one preps what looks like a tattoo needle, the other preps a syringe with an unknown substance in it. I don't know what's going on, but the Big Payback is starting to look like a covert SEAL team at a black site. Honestly, there's no telling what's about to happen. One person is tattooing away, while the other watches his blood pressure and heart rate. Days go by, and the news already picks up on the kidnapping. The Big Payback works against the clock on the racist pig. While the black man who Jeff beats to a bloody pulp is at home recovering, his son is helping the Big Payback with their funny business. Finally, they finish their masterpiece and dumps Jeff's naked body in the middle of the street. He lays there for a while before stumbling his way through the streets, searching for his way back home. As he stumbles through his yard, his wife hears the ruckus outside and gets out of bed, loads the revolver, and calls for backup. Jeff's torture has been going on for days now, And when he finally catches his reflection from the window of his pickup truck, he is mortified. He goes to his backyard to hug his dog, but the canine is barely able to recognize him. He tries to wash the filth off his body, but nothing seemed to work. Jeff's wife is looking out the window, unable to recognize him. She describes the assailant as a black intruder. She instructs her son to go to the room and hide under the bed, while she points her revolver at the door as she hears the intruder approaching. Jeff eventually breaks through the door to find his wife pointing a gun to his face. He's a little hidden in the shadows and unable to speak. He tries to mumble out words, but she's completely terrified and ready to shoot. However, she's hesitant. Jeff advances towards her, still trying to mumble out words. She is slowly recognizing him as he gets closer to the light. As soon as she utters his name, a gun goes off. It's Troy. He shoots his father, who had been tattooed in black from tongue to toe.
So to summarize this film, this kid had watches that do all sorts of racist things throughout the entire movie. And low-key, he may have some resentment for black people for taking his hero away.
Now he is a naked black man advancing towards his mom in the middle of the night. Pulling that trigger was a natural reaction. I doubt Jeff would be able to live with himself anyway, so Troy might have done him and the world a solid.